Hey up, YouTube. I promised I was going to do a video on my helmet setup, and it's taken me a while to get around to that. So here it is. Basically, I've got a matte black Schubert C3 Pro, which is got this graduated visor, and it's got the integrated sun visor, which is, see that particularly well, can you? There you go, which is really quite handy, just a trick. And onto that I have added a Cardo Scala Rider Pack Talk, which is incredibly complex with all the commands that you can use for it. However, myself and about 4 or 5 of our riding buddies have these. And the great thing is, when you set up a pack of up to 10 people, once you ride within range of each other, it has this meshing ability, and it meshes you all back together again. Now, if you also get split up in, say, groups of 2 or 3 or whatever it might be, you take off in different directions to scout some roads, this is clever enough to keep your pack together. It hives off the other pack into their own little pack, and then when you all come back together again, it puts everyone back together, which is really clever. And I mean, more practically speaking, actually, if I've got this on me, and I go meet one of the guys for a coffee, as soon as I ride to within range of where he is, it automatically connects us, so I can actually start speaking, which is awesome. It also connects to your sat nav, obviously, and connects to your phone. And having used the phone at quite high speeds, pretty clever. And this is a quiet lid anyway. It's about the quietest lid you can buy, I think. And basically, I can have a conversation at 70, 80 miles an hour, and people wouldn't know I was on the bike, which is quite good. So yeah, this connects everything, which is really nice. It's also got a built-in radio receiver as well, which is quite good. So highly recommend that. Essentially, then this has a set of ear speakers which sit on the inside, on either side, and it's got a boom mic as well, which runs across the inside and on here, and I'll show you that in a second. For the camera, I've got the Ghost S, which I really quite like because it's got this kind of slim form factor to sit on the side of your lid, right? So instead of the big chunky GoPro that kind of sits on the front or might sit out here on, you know, bionic fucking arms, whatever it might be, this one actually is pretty slick, and is quite good for one-handed operation as well. So there's an on-off switch here, forward, back, and a menu. So hold this to switch it on and off, tap it once to turn it on and off. It's also got I think it's Bluetooth. It connects via remote, which I can actually put on the handlebars of the bike, which is quite good. So I can press a button on and off, and then switch modes if I wanted to take camera pictures or a series of pictures over whatever kind of delay it is. And essentially this is just connected onto a standard kind of suction mount. Now, getting the angle of this right can be kind of difficult, but I don't know if you can see there's a bit of a ridge along here on the helmet. And all I've done is lined up the bottom part of this with this, sitting just back from where the front of the lids flips up. And on the back of the camera, you've got one of these connectors. And when you untighten this bit in the middle here, you can put this at whatever angle you want to. So actually, you just take it off, get it right. I've marked it out here now, perfect, where it's perfect, with a bit of marker around the edge. But basically, you can adjust the angle of your view. So it takes a couple of times putting it on and off, just to make sure you've got it right. So when you've got your lid sat down, it does look like it's pointing up in the air, but clearly when you're wearing your lid and you're kind of looking at things, that's the position your head will be in, and your camera's going to see what you're looking at. To further secure this, basically this is the clip for the mic. I'm just going to wrap that around, stick it in the back down here. But also what I have done is, because you've got this catch here, I got one of these little, can you see that? It's essentially a little strap from a camera. And what I have done is connected that strap to a little hole here, if you can see that, little hole there. So now, if for whatever reason this clip comes out of the base on my lid at speed, and it shouldn't because it does actually click firmly into place. However, this will now sit under this part of the clip, and then that clips on under my very masculine chin. Basically, it has nowhere to go, so it's a nice little catch strap. So really, it'll just hit me in the shoulder, basically. So inside the lid, then, because it's a flip front, which is really quite good for zipping around in warm weather or having a chat when you stop. So it's quite practical. What it does mean is actually that the boom mic kit that I've got for the Cardo has to come out the side here, right? So it's got a little bit of Velcro that sticks to the inside here, and then that boom mic comes out. And all I have done, if you can see, with this cable here, I've tied it, and I've put a little windsock on and cable tied that, and I've essentially cable tied both of these together. So now my comms and my camera mic are sat right in front of my face. So in some of my earlier videos it was a little difficult to hear me, and that was because I had this mic stuck in here at the side, and that was difficult. It didn't really work very well. So I moved it to the inside here, it didn't work very well, and now I moved it out here where it's actually right in front of my cake hole. So now whether I've got my visor or the front of my lid up or down, this is quite centrally placed. So that's how I've got things set up. Now, one thing I will say is the earpieces that come with the Pack Talk as standard aren't particularly good. So I actually replaced them, and I say they're not particularly good because they're not loud. And I actually replaced them with, there's a good job you said this helmet is quite modular as well. But it does have this little connector. So you can use your own headphones with the base unit. So this actually sticks on a base unit. And sorry, I'm going to take this out and show you. I'll clip the back. So that base unit goes onto your lid, and that's the bit that's got the wiring and gubbins on for your microphone and your headset. And then this piece comes off to charge, whatever, and then simply clicks back into place, like so. But what that means is, because they've actually made this modular, which is really clever, you can replace your headphones. Now, I did have an uprated pair in there, which were this Torx X Pro, which are okay, you know, they're all right. They made a bit more noise, but the problem really is getting these things into the exact right position so it sits over your ear hole and stays there and doesn't move, and that can be a bit of a challenge. So actually what I've now done is I've gone and got this little extension lead, which really just extends from this piece and then gives me a bit more room to play with. Please excuse my black wolf in the background. And then I've gotten a pair of these made. So these are ultimate in-ear monitors. So essentially, you order these online here in the UK. You go to an audiologist quite nearby, and they take molds of your ears. So, I mean, all in all, it takes about 4 minutes per ear. These are nice squidgy silicone, and they come with their own little kind of protective pouch and some cleaning. And then they are wired. So you can get the wire to come out the bottom of your ear, or you can have it come out and around the top of your ear. I've elected to have these come out to keep them flush inside my lid. And then they've got the little opening here as well, so the speaker driver sits within. Now these are good for apparently 31 decibels. They look quite ugly, don't they? About 31 decibels of noise reduction, which is on par and better than some foam plugs you can get. I think I was using the Howard Late Max plugs previously, but these are so comfortable. They're really comfortable, and I actually got to get out and test them. So that's my setup for now. The reason I got these as a modular cable is, as you can imagine, you don't really want to have to start messing around with these. You're going to want to get them in your ears, get your lid on, get connected, and then you're done. And then actually when you're stopping, you're going to take them off. You can disconnect, and you can leave these in your ears if you want to. So there we go. That is my setup. Another word of warning, which took me a while to learn in a few videos, but actually you need to set your mic input to the lowest level on this, on the internal menu on the HD, on the Ghost, or the Ghost S. So anything above that, it was causing a lot of wind noise. Even though this lid is quite quiet, it was picking up some wind noise and a lot of distortion as well, which wasn't great. So turn that on to the lowest. Just make sure your mic is in the right place, which I think I've got mine there now. Make sure you get yourself a good set of earphones so you can listen to some music on the way. And then you can talk to yourself and sing to yourself to your heart's content and share it with everybody else. So there you go. If you've got any other suggestions or you want to share your setup, please let me know. I'll stick links for all these bits and pieces in the description of the video below. And I will see you next time. Ciao.